Hello, welcome to Yama Is Me, and I'm back with another video. I know it's been a long time, but you know, procrastination, things like that, which is another video I'm gonna make. But today I just want to talk about an incident that I encountered at work. What I would want to say is I'm an ED patient registrar, so I arrive patients in the emergency room. I arrive patients that walk in, patients in the ambulance, patients that are traumas like gunshot wounds, falls, motor vehicle crashes, stuff like that. Okay, so the supports the software system that we use. It's Epic, and then we are educated through Revenue Cycle. And if you're familiar with that, then you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so it's Revenue Cycle week at the hospital that I work at. So they're like, celebrating those of us who use Revenue Cycle. And so my department, they went and bought Jimmy John's sandwiches for us. So I was working with one of my coworkers at the station, and then, the administrator was like, "Oh, can you go and relieve people for them to get their sandwiches?" Mind you, why did my administrator walk all the way from his office? He's not even my administrator, but walk all the way from their office to my station to tell me to relieve everybody for sandwiches. Why can't you do it? You know what I'm saying? So my coworker, we were talking about that. I said, that's kind of weird. Like, how can you leave your desk and walk by your employee stations and then ask another employee to relieve them? So then I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go get. I was like, okay, well, I'll just do it or whatever. And she was like, oh, when you go, you can get me a sandwich, and I don't eat beef or pork. I said, excuse me? I can go get you a sandwich? I said, could you ask? You didn't even ask me. Oh, no, I was just saying, since you're going to get your sandwich, then you can get me one. You didn't ask me to get you one. I thought that was really disgusting. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said, well, I could relieve you and you can go get your own sandwich. And she was like, oh, no, that doesn't make any sense because you're going to get yours, so you can just get mine. Right there, that's a red flag. That's somebody who's just used to manipulating others and telling other people what they want them to do, and they're used to other people doing it. And I told her, I said, you can ask me. And she said, oh, well, could you please get mine? I said, yeah, that's fine. And she gave me her number. She's like, oh, call me and tell me if you need anything, any reminders. I'm like, okay, whatever. I barely remember what it is that she didn't eat because I'm thinking about myself, and I'm going over there. So I go over there. I'm looking at the sandwiches. I'm like, damn, they went and catered and they didn't label any of the sandwiches? Which I'm wondering, Jimmy John's, is that what y'all do? Y'all be catering and y'all don't label sandwiches? Because y'all should. So I'm asking one of my coworkers in the break room. I was like, do we have turkey sandwiches? And she's like, let me ask the supervisor. So she asked, and the supervisor said, yeah, we got it. I think so. It's the white one. It's the one with the white meat in between the bread. I said, okay. So I grabbed one sandwich for me and for them. And I asked my coworker, I'm like, what is it that you wanted again? She's like, oh, I told you I don't eat beef or pork, so turkey. I was thinking to myself, why is this person so damn rude? I said, okay, well, whatever. They have chips. What chips do you want? I got the chips because we already working at the same station. I don't mind getting you something to eat and myself something to eat since I'm going there. Whatever. So then when I bring her the food, I drop it off. I'm like, all right, well, I got to go relieve other people so they can go get their sandwiches. So then I come back and she's like, oh, I ate the sandwich, and I was thinking to myself, I told this girl I don't eat pork. I said, excuse me, what? Oh, you gave me pork. I said, no, I didn't. It's turkey. She said, oh, it was pork. I said, well, I didn't mean to give you pork. I said, I picked the same sandwich for you as I did for myself. And my coworker asked the supervisor if there was turkey sandwiches, and she said, yeah. She said, oh, no, it wasn't turkey. It's ham, but it's okay. It's fine. It's messing my stomach up. I said, well, I didn't mean to do that. I said, but next time you can go get your own sandwich. Next time you can go get your own food, since we can just make this simpler. You know, I didn't have to get you anything. And I did say that. And she was like, oh, no, it's fine. You mean none of the sandwiches were labeled? I said, nothing's labeled. All the sandwiches are all together. Which is kind of messed up because there are some people who don't eat beef and pork for religious reasons. And then you just got everybody sandwiches, touch it inside the box. It's like, damn, I don't give a F about my employees. I just don't give a damn about them. But then I told her, I said, well, I told, that's what I'm telling you. Like, they weren't labeled. I said, I didn't mean to do that. And I think it's weird. I said, sorry about that. But I got the same sandwich I got for you. I said, which mine has ham on it. But I said, I'm not going to eat the ham. I'm just going to take mine out. And she's like, oh, it's fine. It's fine. Y'all. Sometimes you will meet people in life that they are just so used to asking people for favors. And they don't even ask, some people don't even ask for favors. They tell you what you're going to do for them. That is an entitled person. We are living in the world with entitled people. We are going to work with entitled people. And I was thinking, and I always thought to myself, this woman is so used to people doing what she asks them to do and what she begs them to do, because that's literally what she does almost every day she works. She begs people to go get supplies for her. She begs people to change the assignment sheet for her. She begs people to help her do her work. She begs people. And I know that a lot of that too comes from the privilege that she has. She is a lighter skinned Black American woman. And what I've noticed living this Black American experience, which is when you are lighter skinned, if you're a lighter skinned woman and people find you attractive, they will do favors for you. They will do what you ask of them. You will ask people to do things for you and they'll go and they'll do it. And they won't have an attitude about it. They won't talk back to you. They won't tell you no. This is what she's used to doing. And I was telling her, like, you didn't even ask me. Could you ask? How you going to tell me what I'm going to do for you? That's one thing that I did. Then the second thing that I did when she complained, I was like, well, I did tell you, I did offer to relieve you from your station so you could go get your own sandwich. You didn't want to do that. And that's why, and the third thing I did was I told her, I said, well, next time you can go get your own stuff. And guess what? I won't be doing that shit again. I'm not doing anything nice for you again. That's all you do is you just complain and you just tell people what they're going to do for you. Like, that is a part of her light skin privilege. That is it. And I've worked with many lighter skinned people at work, especially lighter skinned women. And that is very common that they do that. They'll be telling people what they're going to do for them. Or they'll say, can you do me a favor? Can you do me a favor? They're so used to people doing favors for them based on the way that they look. For me, I'm not used to people doing favors for me based on the way that I look. Yeah, I do get some pretty privilege, but in the terms of skin color, no. Because I'm pretty dark myself. I was just like, I am not going to do anything for this. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do any favors for this person. I'm not going to go out of my way to be nice to this person. If they ask me to do a favor for them, I'm going to tell them no. And like, the person just has such a bad attitude. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, this person is just so used to getting what they want in life. You cannot get everything that you want in life. And those of us who are working with these colorist, privileged people, we need to start telling them no. Can you do this for me? No. Are you able to help me? No, I can't help you. Oh, do this for me, do that for me? No. Who the hell are you talking to? That's how we need to talk to them. And I actually do talk to that person like that sometimes, because I have to check them based on the things that they say. I'm just like, God, you're just used to talking to dark-skinned people like shit. You can tell with that person, she's used to talking to dark-skinned people like shit, especially dark-skinned women. I've seen her talk to other dark-skinned women like crap. And the dark-skinned women that she befriends, in my opinion, I think she thinks she's better than them. I truly believe that. I believe she thinks she's better than them. I mean, she has such a bad attitude. And it just put a real sour taste in my mouth about that individual. But, you know, we got to tell these privileged people no. Other people, you know, if they want to, you know, cater to your needs as a privileged person, let them do it. But we, as the people who don't receive that much privilege, don't cater to these niggas' needs. They think they're supposed to get everything in life. They think everything's supposed to go their way. And we don't need to be catering to their goddamn needs. No. All right. But yeah, that was just something that I encountered when I was at work, and I just wanted to talk about it because we do have to talk about this colorism that's in, you know, the black community, and it's also in many other communities of color as well, like Hispanic, Asian, Middle Eastern, I'm sure Native American and Pacific Islander. You know, and we have to talk about it and talk about the privileges that these people have. And I know it may just seem like people online talking and making commentary, but you actually see the effects of colorism in real life. Like, you see it in your family, you see it amongst friends, you see it at work. And we really do have to combat this colorism. You know, we sit here and we cry about racism all day, but when we encounter a colorist, most of the time we don't do shit about it. You know. But I would just like to say thank you for listening to my vent session. And I would like to say, you know, please rate, subscribe, leave a comment, and share. I would really appreciate it. And you guys, you know, enjoy the rest of your day. And let me just tell you about this new hair that I have in. This is from one of the hair vendors that I sell. I'm doing some digital product marketing, and I will leave a link to my company website down below. And this is from vendor number 3. This is my Afro Kinky Curly C texture, and as you can see, it looks very natural. And I have HD lace. But yeah, my website is called mycoiledperfection.com. mycoiledperfection.com. All right, and it's a very affordable products list. Okay, thank you.